going on, everybody?
Hey,
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
good, bro.
What it do, man?
Yeah.
What's up?
Music.
Rocking out with the quarantine.
Not the quarantine. For those of you who are not aware, what's up, y'all? Welcome. My name is Jay the Creative, and welcome to Beyondr Top 5, a specially curated Top 5 Friday exclusive. I have the privilege and honor of working with some of my closest friends. We're not going to spend any time just like wasting time or anything like that. This is a special kind of analyzing and breaking down Beyondr, which is an album that was put out by Paul G, executive produced by AA Hit Music. And before we go, I'm just trying to check my. I should have had this copy and pasted. Okay, so before we get into it, I'm just gonna give a description of both of the people involved. So, Aaron AA Gibbs is a musician, producer, audio engineer, and instrumental artist. Born into a musical family, Aaron got his start in music at age 12 as a drummer, eventually being exposed to the recording industry by attending studio sessions with his dad, known as Lace, who's a seasoned live musician and session guitarist. Throughout high school and college, he continually developed multiple gifts while working with aspiring independent artists. Since graduating City College in 2014 with a bachelor's degree in sonic arts, AA has established his own music and audio production company brand, AA Hit Music LLC. His production and or engineering work is featured on releases by artists like Paul G, Leon Timbo, and Bizzle, along with major television networks and syndicated broadcasts, including NBC's The Voice, MTV Networks, Dish Nation, MTV, NBA TV programming, and more. So AA, just wanted to give you a shout out. Welcome.
Yeah, appreciate that, bro.
No problem. And for our next artist, Paul G is a well-rounded brand in media. He is an actor, host, singer, rapper, writer, and producer. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, and is an alumni of St. John's University. His knowledge from school and his own work have allowed him to cultivate his brand and expand it to working with companies such as MTV, ESPN, and BET. He's also performed at Madison Square Garden, the Barclays Center, and Carnegie Hall, just to name a few, as well as colleges and universities all over the country, as well as taking him on a worldwide tour with the production Henry Box Brown, a musical journey, where it won the Best Musical nomination, 2 BBC interviews, and garnered over 25 4- and 5-star reviews from reviewers, including the Times of London, Broadway Baby, Broadway World, MusicalTheaterReview.com, The List, and The Fringe. The Shade Room, Rap Radar, Complex, GQ, Fuse TV, The New Yorker, NBC, Hot 97, Power 105.1, World Star, ThisIs50.com, Rapzilla.com, as well as multiple blogs, national and international, have all featured Paul's music, videos, and content.
This is from my EPK, by the way. I didn't know you was going to read the whole thing.
I'm going to read the whole thing. In September of 2016, Paul G released his debut album, Game Face, that immediately charted within the top 100 iTunes hip-hop charts at number 77. He shared the stage with artists such as BB Winan, Sheila E., Byron Cage, Richard Smallwood, Salt and Pepper, and more. His music from Spotify alone has reached 62 countries and over 500,000 streams on all streaming platforms collectively. Steve Harvey calls him the best-kept secret in entertainment that is very likable and everyone should love. And reminds him of himself with a college degree. When Paul's family was on the TV show Family Feud, Steve Harvey stressed that Paul G has that it factor. He is an entrepreneur who plans to do more than music. With a business mindset and creative, innovative nature, Paul G always has something up his sleeve. Now to introduce him formally after that DBQ essay, Paul G, everyone.
First of all, ain't nobody tell you to read all that, okay? You told me to send the bio. I thought you was going to line by line it, summarize it. I mean, but that was beautiful. That was wonderful. It was wonderful to see what God had
Before
did.
you go on, I wanted to add too that he's also the one of the executive producers for Beyondr and Game Face. So it's definitely a collaboration.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, definitely takes two.
I missed up on that, so that's
no, you good.
That's my bad. But before we get into the Beyondr situation. How's everybody been doing with this quarantine situation and everything like that?
Well, me and my quarantine at home has been great. But sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
No. You can go first. I've been talking.
Yeah, man. Man, we've been good, man. Just sitting home, meditating, cleaning, mentally, spiritually, physically, accessing God for strength.
Right.
Just being on point, man. Just being the light that I know I was created to be to people. Not trying to capitalize off trauma, but just trying to be what I was meant to be for people in a time of crisis. You know what I mean? I was also very human, so that's another thing. So yeah, man, we getting through it, man. Of course, there's sadness, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it big time.
Yeah, I know. For me, it's definitely made me more creative. I've just looked at, taking the time to just look at the things that I had that's undone.
Right.
Things that I have unfinished, and just finishing stuff. Honestly, just committing to things and finishing it. It's made me more creative. It's made me more, just prepared. Like even just on a health, standpoint, just watching what I eat and just trying to take care of myself and my family. So
right.
Yeah, it's definitely teaching me a lot, man. It's a tough season, but we're definitely gonna get through it. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely relate to those. I know personally, I've been working from home. Thank God, because I edit and everything like that. But I mean, times like this, it reminds you just how much we need each other as people, and how much we need God. Just like and stuff like this, especially with like COVID. And first of all, I want to encourage people to practice social distancing. Try to stay in the house as much as you can.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that times like this, I think crisis reminds us of the fragility of the world. Just to see how millions there's been people saving up and investing money for millions of dollars for years, and it just all disappears within a matter of a week because the stock market crashed. Seeing jobs lost and people kind of give their hard-earned, they invest their time and their energy and resources into that. It just reminds us just that that this is all not well, it is temporary, but there's a scripture in the Bible talking about how the kingdoms of this earth will pass away, and kingdoms are institutions. There are places that hold power and that mean something in society, and it just reminds you to not put your trust in these things, but to put your trust in God. I don't want to get super into that, but yeah, this whole quarantine thing is crazy. I've been in the crib for a couple days now, just kind of working from home. Brad has come over to train me. Shout out to Brad, by the way.
That's dope. I didn't know that.
But yeah, he's been helping me put on some muscle and stuff. But yeah, man, it's been a trip, but we're making it through, and I can't complain. God has been good. So upon this special, Paul asked me to kind of give my top five.
Top five.
My top five Beyondr tracks. And some may have a little bias in them, some may not. But I wanted to kind of break down my top five Beyondr tracks, starting from number 5. My fifth favorite track on the album is "The Wave" with Saga. Reason being, I love the song, I love the energy, I love the kind of this gritty, this hard feel, but it's still it's a bop, you know what I mean? And I've expressed this very explicitly to Paul that I love Saga's verse. For those of you who may not know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and so Saga is another big wrestling fan, and he had a Matt Hardy reference, and I literally lost my Sugar Honey Iced Tea when I first heard his feature. But I love that song, and that's actually one of the songs off the album that I didn't get a chance to do a video to, but I still want to. So that's number 5. Number 4 is Major Difference. Reason being is because I remember when Phil...
Wait, do you want to go song by song?
No, I'm going straight through with the songs. But it's... Number 4 is Major Difference. I remember when Paul got the reference from Phil, and then Paul sent it to me. And the reference alone was so fire that I put it on my Apple Music and just listened to it religiously. And I was just like, man, I know when Paul puts like lyrics to this is gonna actually be fire.
Yeah.
So that's like number 4, easily, major difference. Number 3, Now or Whenever, obviously. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite videos that I've ever done. One of my 2 favorite videos that I've ever done, for starters. And I just love the fact that it's just love. It's just pure. It's just like pure, like, it's like nostalgia. It's reminiscing. It's honoring, and it's all that wrapped into one. And it's just very, very melodic, very, very like vibey. I just love that song so much. And the second is 1224. Not fun story, but good story. Paul sent me the original to this in 2018. And it was right after I was going through a breakup, and I was like on a mission to lose weight, and he sent me the reference, and I played it every single day as I was walking to the gym from May until August. Like every single day as I was walking to the gym. And that's when I started like getting into kickboxing heavy. So I was going like 5, 6, 7 times a week. So like I listened to that song like every day, and it just motivated me and it just pushed me to like just go higher in life and everything that I did. And here I am. And number 1,
here you are.
Here
like
I am.
Pounds slimmer.
You're right. Slim the Creator.
Man, that pain will turn you into a monster, man.
Yo, it really did.
Yeah.
But the number 1 song for me is Lifetime. And the reason why Lifetime is my favorite song, Paul has a tendency to talk about transparency a lot in his music. This was one of those times where he showed the transparency as far as like putting his guilt, his innermost thoughts about certain things in his life, just putting it on the table. And I think that one of the biggest things that he kind of that he talked about in that was like the whole idea of like the fear of losing his friends. And I feel like that's something, not the fear of losing his friends, but just like, I feel like I'm losing them in a sense, but like I feel like as we're all getting older and we encounter more responsibility that requires a lot of our time, I think that that's something that kind of plays in our head, is like that idea of like, I hope like everything is still good with me and the people that I grew up with and the people that like I'm down with and that I really love. Because it's like now we're in a position where all of us, like we're encountering more things, we're doing more things. There are a lot of other things that are taking a lot of our time, and those things that are taking our time away from spending time with family and friends. Obviously, that's until this season because, Corona's got us inside. But it's like one of those things.
We inside.
Exactly, we inside. But it's one of those things that you kind of play over in the back of your head. You're getting older. The priorities start to change. The responsibilities start to shift. And, you just want those friendships intact because those are people that you grew up with, and that's people that are considered family. But lo and behold, those are my top 5 favorite songs off of Beyondr. But I want to extend this branch to y'all. I want y'all to tell me what y'all favorite 5 songs off of Beyondr are. But I'm gonna have a nice little cute playlist or whatever, and hopefully it'll be in somebody's bio for you guys to stream. That was my 5. I wanted to kind of give an honorable mention. I'm cheating, but there's an honorable mention. A Game with India. Is definitely. I think it was mostly because I love the song. Yeah. But Paul and India are people that I consider like family to me. Paul and India are people that I grew up with. And so when the song originally came out, I put together a lyric video. I did the cover for it. Yeah. And I think that was, and the fact that Double A produced it, it was like all of us working together. And that was something that was a desire of mine. So I'm cheating. Okay, y'all. So that's enough with my top 5. Y'all know my tracks and my 6th. Even that's a cheat. But I want to know what y'all top 5s from this album are. Starting with who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
All right, bet.
All right, bet. All right, cool. So number 1 is Something Real. Reason being was because he did collab with us on the first Game Face with Too Blessed, but I had an opportunity to get my dad on guitar again for the track, which was very, very dope. But I love the vibe, man. It just sounds so dope. Man.
I agree.
Something Real is so dope, and just the way that it came together, I really love that. So that's number 1 for me. Number 2 would be Finally. Obviously, I spoke about it, highly about it already. You kind of know that already. Number 3, I would say, is Lifetime. Lifetime because the vibe, man. I love the way that song came together. As a producer, like, you always have that one song that is a struggle to create. Like, not because it's not a good song, but because you want it to be so good, you work hard at it, and you get frustrated when it's not sounding like in your head.
It was one of those songs where we really had to go in and dig in the grain and make sure the song was great. Yeah.
Even down to the mix. Like I think that is the one song, that and Now or Whenever is the 2 songs that have the most mixes for it. I'm a perfectionist if you didn't know, but I am. So
love to see it.
A long time to get there, but and this was my first time getting into mastering. I'm not gonna get too technical with it, but
please do.
Game Face, we hired a mastering engineer. Shout out to Louis Bach. He did his thing. But for this one, that was my offering to this album. In addition to the production, I wanted to really see it through.
Leveled up.
So that was dope. So that's my number 3. Number 4 would be Major Difference. I just love what Phil did with that joint. Especially considering the fact that, like, I gotta shout him out really, because he's been a constant collaborator with us, even back to the Siren. I don't know if you remember that, Paul. He actually, the first session we did, he was there for. But he's been a constant supporter of us and a constant collaborator, all the way from Good Day and now to Major Difference. And he heard what we did with Different, and he was like, "Yo, I'm so inspired." And he just sent the track over, and I was like, "Yo, that's it. Like,
right?
Cool. It's on the album. It's fine. Like, we're good. Like, we're moving forward with it. Like, and it's one of my favorite songs on the album. And to round out my top 5 is Authentic. I gotta shout out my he's actually become a bro now, like, and I'm kind of helping him, train him up in the art and business of music. His name is Danny Berto. Follow him on IG or anywhere, but he produced that track for this album. The one thing that we forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about the project was that this was the first time we actually reached out more to our network of producer friends, and it was dope that he was be able to come in and work on this project, and he was young when he started it.
How old is he?
He just turned 18, bro. He just turned 18, and the crazy thing about it is, if you don't know how publishing works, like, there's a whole back end to music and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. I have videos on that subject if you want to go watch it. But I had to get him signed up for a performing rights organization so that he can get royalties from the music, right? But when I went to go sign him up, he was like, "Yo, I'm 17." I was like, "Dang, oh man." All right, so we had to wait until he hit 18. Because it would have been too complicated to try to get a guardian and all that stuff. It was just too much. So I helped him get signed up, and by the time the album came out, like, he was good. And so I think it was just dope for him to get a placement. Not only that, but the song is really dope. You know what I'm saying? It came out really, really dope, and it's actually one of my favorites. And it was like one of the unexpected favorites, like especially because I didn't produce it, but like, it's dope.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's my top 5.
I already gave my top 5 list. Double A already gave his top 5 list. So now the only person left is Paul G. So, Paul, I need to know what your top 5 is for this album.
Top
5. Oh, man. So I got to do a quick honorable mention of songs. As an artist, you can't really pick your babies and choose a favorite. But this album, I'll say, incorporating the effect on people it had, the quality, the writing, the performance aspect, and just what I like to play whenever I feel like listening to music. This is my top 5. So I'll start off with my honorable mentions. I'm gonna break the rules a little bit because I'm a Beyondr. Okay. Break. Excuse me. All right. Next, what I'll do is I'll talk about my honorable mentions. I have 4 honorable mentions that I'll quickly touch upon. Right, and I had to write them down because I had to really come to conscience with like, yeah, this is my top. Okay, this is my top 5, and I'm not thinking about anything else. Okay, the next one. So my top 5, my honorable mentions is Lifetime, and I'll say Lifetime is not my top 5 because other songs meant a lot. Nah, I'm sorry. Lifetime's in my top 5. Honorable mention is going to. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Honorable mention is going to. It's going to go to Major Difference, right? Major Difference. In short, Major Difference is not in my top 5 because, yeah, people enjoyed it, but this is my top 5 for songs I enjoyed doing and what I feel mean the most to me, right? So I'll do that. I'll do the songs that mean the most to me. Major Difference is a song where I express myself and I let people know, like, yo, I want you to know the true feelings I have. I go through life realizing that people sometimes just don't understand me. Or they really don't. Like, I'm really misunderstood almost 90% of the time. And even when I'm trying not to be misunderstood, it just sucks. But Major Difference let people know, the ones that are still for me, that I love you, right? And it's a major difference throughout everything that's going. I'm changing. My whole feeling is different. My whole life is different. So Major Difference, honorable mention. Another honorable mention I'm going to do is More, right? So More is a song that came out in 2017. But what we like to do with the album is revamp the songs, right, Aaron? We like to revamp and we like to really give a different flip on songs if we drop them as singles because that's just something dope to do. Yeah. More is an anthem, man. People know it by words because it's an anthem. It's easy to rap. It's easy to sing. Honorable mention, 1224. We just shot a video for it. It's another honorable mention, and these songs should be in my top 5. They all could be in my top 5. 1224 is another anthem, but it's a real talk. It's a history lesson, and it's a future projection. It's speaking things into existence, and it's just a hard drop. When that beat drop, the video's fire. Jordan shot that video. Incredible.
Killed it.
I have to interject because for the video, I think that the funniest part about it was every time I think of the video, I think of the actual day where we shot with like the outside at night scene.
Mm-hmm.
And how ridiculously cold. How ridiculously cold.
Keep wiping spot.
Yo, I was just all right.
We might have looked warm on camera, but it was definitely cold that night.
It was. Facts. All right, so now that you're done with your 3 honorable mentions,
I have my top 5. Okay, I would last honorable mention Something Real. It's an R&B barbecue song. I listened to it to prove to myself that I sound good on songs. Right, Something Real, great song. R&B, you're gonna love it. My 5 from songs that mean well to me and songs that I know won't get the credit that it deserves. Number 5 is Lifetime. Right, Lifetime is literally a song where it was a soul cry song. It was a soul cry song. It was me reflecting on my life and saying, wow, I really wish this is how I feel. A lot of people, I won't have another chance like this to express how I really feel. My mission is to influence and inspire people with the essence of transparency, TTFR. Lifetime talks about everything I'm afraid of. It talks about all my embarrassment. It talks about the attacks. It talks about the people that passed on that I wish could be here with me. It talks about my little bros. It talks about my other bros. It talks about my family. It talks about my childhood. And it talks about depression. It talks about me struggling with depression, right? I've been battling depression for like 4 or 5 years.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I've been battling depression, which means I always win, but the attacks do come.
It's a fight.
And
it is a fight.
I want to definitely interject in that because you were just saying that you were battling depression. It's crazy because I just over the past, I would say 3 to 4 months, I actually went to a therapist. And
real dope. Congrats, bro.
I only went once. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I went 4 times. Hallelujah.
I went once because it wasn't even for getting stuff or unpacking. It was actually so I can get a note pertaining because that was going to qualify my surgery that I got in October. But it was crazy because like the more that I talked and the more that I started to unpack, the therapist was just like, you sound like you've been depressed for like a long time, and it turns out I've been depressed since I was 10 years old, and my depression just started going into remission like at the end of 25, like at the end of my 25th year living. No, at the end of towards the end of 2018, it started going into remission, and it's just like depression is something that you could be so deep in that you don't even know that you're in it.
Absolutely.
And that's more of a reason to unpack. And for those of you who are dealing with mental health issues, just be aware of the fact that you're not alone and that there is somebody that you can talk to and that you can unpack, because I feel like one of the things that will keep you depressed is isolation. Just being by yourself is one of those things that will keep you in a state that you're not supposed to be in.
Right. So, and let me just jump in there. So, and we're not making, clickbait off of depression.
Right.
We're trying to make transparency cool again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Because if we make transparency cool, a lot of lives will be changed. A lot of people will be different. Love will be the center of everyone's actions. Right. Depression brings isolation, but in that isolation, I got to give credit, because in that isolation of depression, I wrote Too Blessed, one of the happiest songs I've ever written. In the darkest time, I wrote it in this room with all the lights off, right? Considering suicide, right? It was deep, and it sucks because even as artists, it's not cool to say, "Oh, I was depressed." I'm not sick. I'm not hurt. I'm not demon possessed. Like, none of that. People go through stuff, and Jordan said it. The importance is you have to acknowledge it. So the reason why I like Lifetime is because it's like, I dug deep into my soul, my pain, my feelings, my love, my mind, which is all reflected on the cover art, by the way. I dug deep, put it pen to paper, and Malik helped out with the outro of the song. Aaron and me was just fluid with the production. It was songs like this and Lifetime.
Phil Major again too.
You know what I'm saying? Again?
Yeah, Phil Major again too, man. He threw us the alley-oop, man. Like, he really, really helped us down. And I to be honest, I want to commend both of y'all, man. A lot of men in general, but especially black men, don't like to talk about their mental health. And these conversations need to happen more often. You know what I'm saying? And even my brother's been to a therapist. Like, I've never been, but I probably should go. There might be some stuff that that I haven't even, spoken about. But I know the importance of speaking out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And not holding stuff in. And
people
is real.
Right. People got to wipe away the negative connotation of therapy. Because therapy helped me finish the album. Therapy helped me have a better relationship with Janelle. Therapy helped me have a better relationship with my family, and my better relationship with myself, and better relationship with God. Because at the end of the day, all your problems can't be solved by a prayer, but they can be solved by addressing those dark spaces.
And to add to that, it's interesting because when it comes to depression, when I started like unpacking, I actually look up the word depression, and it's rooted in the word to depress. And when you look up the word depress, it means to suppress something below its normal strength and its normal way of function. And it's interesting because, like once Aaron said, like, there may be some things that you didn't know that you had to unpack, that you have to unpack. And it's so necessary because sometimes there's things that are inside you that are stopping you from operating at the function that God has called you to operate.
Absolutely.
I think that it's interesting because like when I looked at the definition of depressed, it means to hold down so that it won't perform at the level that it's supposed to function at. And one of the things that I realized is that after I unpacked that whole thing and realized that I was depressed, I realized that I was thinking below the level I was supposed to be thinking. I was doing under the level I was supposed to be doing. If we could be honest, I was dating under the level that I was supposed to be dating, because I look back and I realized that my exes got me on a discount. That's a whole other story. But
that's great. Ooh, that's good.
But like, it's one of those things where like, your depression.
Those are the things that energize the song. Sorry,
huh?
What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, just be, when it comes to depression, just understand that like the things that you're maybe holding back or that you may be ashamed of that you haven't unpacked yet is holding you from living in the level that you're supposed to function or even above that.
In your best life.
It's holding you back from being a Beyondr.
Yep.
That being said, therapy is not lame. It's not lame to say you have a problem. It's actually the coolest thing you could possibly do, because then you become the best you can possibly be. And that's the point of a Beyondr. Right. Stepping out and being the best you can possibly be. So lifetime is a just general reminder that I'm going to be good for a lifetime. You know, I feel like I got it right at the right time. I feel like I got it right, man, to address those demons and make sure you're at your best. Number 4. Finally is my 4th favorite song, man. I'll say that because, yeah, it's fun to perform. It's fun to, you know, hear people rap it. I really find joy in seeing people rap it at game time. I found joy in going into an interview and then people saying, like, that's my favorite song. It's my 4th favorite one because for me, I like the songs I could quickly listen to and feel something. So, yeah, Finally is a great listen. It's a great switch up if you need some good hip hop, some good rap. But it's number 4 because, yeah, I'm talking about what I want to talk about. But, you know, it's a song that you got to compact and you got to really be ready to listen to. Yeah. But I remember, Aaron, if you want to piggyback, you kind of was just like, this is one of your favorite songs because it's something you wanted to do. You wanted to produce.
Yeah, man. I just really wanted something. I really just wanted to hear you over that type of production. That's number 1. And honestly, just to say a note, like being from New York, there's a certain edge that we have. That isn't existent in other coasts and other countries. Right. Like just being from New York, there's something just about it, and even down to the music and hip hop. So I really wanted the beat and the lyrics to reflect that, and just the energy. Like that song has a certain type of energy, man. It's not grimy, man. It's not like bad, but it's just like you know what I'm saying? Like it gets you pumped up. So that's why that's my favorite.
Yeah, man, it's talking facts, but it's also being transparent. Because Jordan, you mentioned that breakdown happens. It's like, listen, I sound like I got it together, but realistically, man, I don't have it all put together like I make it seem. It don't mean I'm fronting. It doesn't mean I'm fronting when I'm confident. It means that I'm not God, right? It means that I have flaws. It means that I don't got to figure it out. I can't even say finally gotta get the people to connect. Gotta keep my brothers from lying to me, right? So that means I'm still figuring life out, but I have an understanding of what I need to do. But in the meantime, I need to respect the game, son. So yeah, that's my number 4th. And number 3 is Now or Whenever. Okay, Now or Whenever, my 3rd favorite, because Now or Whenever is a song I really wanted to get a nice R&B feel for the beautiful weather outside. I wanted to sing a little bit. I wanted to vibe out. I wanted to enjoy just the culture of 90s R&B. 90s R&B is the truest, I think, form of R&B. It inspires R&B now. Everyone keeps going back to the sound because the sound was the most true back then. It was the most true. It was the most beautiful back then.
And the covers, man, you have people looking out the window just like the...
Exactly. Like, yo.
Like the serious, like, yo, I'm in love. Like, you was in love in the 90s, bro. Like,
yo. And
people trying to get back to that.
And like I think it was just more widely accepted to be in love back then. I feel like it's starting to get back to that because we're seeing this resurgence in R&B now. But there was just like a long period of time where the R&B was just
let me suck you up. Let me lick you down, baby.
It was like an offshoot of rap, really.
It was sung rap. Like it was just like it was wild. Like, but we're starting to see that resurgence. But I definitely agree with you as far as like the whole R&B 90s feel.
Yeah, and we're singing about love, man. We're singing about love, man. It's cool. It's okay to sing about love, man. People relate to it, especially the people that act like they're all full on sex and they don't care about love. Those are people that got hurt the most, actually. Yeah. People that got hurt the most are people usually trying to act like they don't care about love. But man, those songs are the ones that be hitting people the hardest. And surprisingly, a lot of dudes, a lot of dudes like Now or Never more than the women. And I'm not gonna front, like I got more like women reshares, but dudes will be like, yo, that's my song. That's my song. Because I was talking about real experiences, real feelings that I felt. And I was just keeping it real, man, and just making sure it was a vibe. Shout out to Stokes, for the incredible production initially, and then shout out to Aaron for just adding stuff. And
what a story behind that.
Let me interject in this because I love Now or Whenever, but the funniest part about Now or Whenever is that the beat that y'all hear now is not the original Now or Whenever. I think it's a great time to talk about that because
I can give a little insight to that. So Stokes originally did the track, and the song was actually originally recorded over the Stokes production. But what happened was when we were preparing to finalize the album, we had to look into sample clearance. There was a sample in the original song. And I'm not going to say what it is because we went through a lot of stuff trying to get it cleared and it was just like not working. But we was just like, you know what? This song has to be on the album. We can't move on without it. We got to make it work somehow. And Stokes and I, we worked together, man. We were just sending files back and forth. He sent me the drums and everything. And I recreated the feel of the original vibe of the song. And that's actually another problem for me for the album because that was tough. You know what I mean? Like you had to get something that was from the 90s, bring it into 2019, 2020, and still make it have the same feel.
Right.
The way that we were able to achieve that, it was just amazing. And I'm just happy with it, man. Like,
man. I'm not going to front. Like that song, like regardless of not, like that song was probably the most interactive song in a while since since I Get It, because people were sharing the song. Like I was getting my page views were up. Like people were just looking to see who this dude was, and like they were just vibing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, man, it was really beautiful to see people like, yo, this is hot. I feel this. I bang with this. Da, 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 da. But yeah, man, Now or Never is a feel good R&B song. It's a song that I think everyone will enjoy listening to. My number 2 favorite song is
you're almost there.
Different. Different is my number 2 favorite song. Different is my number 2 favorite song because Different is literally my feelings. Now I'll get really in depth with this. I'll get really in depth because I've come from a culture where I started off making music to make myself accepted, right?
Uh-huh.
So now I'm at a point where, I've been at a point since 2016. Well, no, 2017. I'm now at a point where I am now making the song, and I'm not hiding anything. I'm not keeping nothing back. I'm not packaging it to sound like some genre. I'm not packaging it to sound like someone that's gonna go be accepted somewhere. I'm packaging it how I want to package it. Period. Like I'm at a point where I really don't care. Like I know how me and God get down. Like he knows me, I know him for real. So like we chat and we know my intentions. So anyone who's questioning my intentions when it comes to music or when it comes to words, I don't worry about them anymore. Right? And at the end of the day, the people that questioned you, if you give them so much fact and so much sureness in your delivery, they'll end up jumping on board after. And they'll be the same ones that question you and then jump right on board.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact, though. I can't even add anything to that. So.
Right, exactly.
And the thing about it is, it's like Different. This is my first time really talking about like money. I mean, honest, I love to get money. I love to be able to pay for things. I love to be able to say, I've earned this. It's not a part of the culture I came up with to really talk about that.
Yeah.
If we're really getting into it. It's not a part of my culture that I came up with to really talk about that. But I wasn't afraid because my culture that I came up with is not my final destination. It never was. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Not your final form.
Right. It was a molding ground to push me into a bigger scheme for my brand. So I have to not only be real, but I've been wanting to talk about these things. I was just afraid. But that was 3 years, 2020. I'm way past being afraid to talk about what I talk about. I talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about. And on Different, I'm keeping it straight up. Listen, don't start acting different when you see my money get low. When you see people really start putting on for the kid, when you see me really, really touring for the music, like I've done tours with my music, I've done tours with my acting, I've put on my own concert, we've did concerts, bet. But when you really start seeing the M's roll in and you really start seeing the effect of the brand and the things that me, Jordan, Aaron, like everyone, we've put in the work, when you start seeing the effects, don't start acting different. And you know what I realized? That song was a little bit dated. Why? Because we're at a point right now, if I could co-sign this, is where people are keeping tabs. They're not really visibly saying, "Oh, I always bang with him," but they're just like, when they see you, they're like, "Yeah, bro, man, I see you."
I know what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing,
Right, but it's like I don't even know you have an Instagram. How you know? Like, how do you know what I'm doing,
bro?
You know,
the worst is when
to add to that, it's not to be cocky. It's just recognizing like the reality of what it is. You know, so many people tell you that you can't do something, or you're whack, or you're not good, but it's like, yo, like people are watching. and they're enjoying it.
Yes.
And even if they hate to enjoy it, they're still enjoying it. It's like, dang, they're just tight. They're just mad that it's so good. It's like, oh, I hate that I enjoy this right now. But
and that's
stop listening.
Right. And the sad part about it is, Aaron, if I would have said the exact same words you said, people would have trained their minds to say I sounded cocky. But that's just the realism of someone who's trying to be something in their life.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's the realism of someone who speaks things into existence. You're going to get people that don't want you to be that confident. Why? Because they can't see themselves in that light.
But on the other hand, you're going to find people that strongly identify exactly where you're coming from. It's like, yo, I see it. I believe you. There's no question. You don't got to question it. It's like, I already see the gift. So
right.
It's like, you know what I mean? So,
and those are the people we pay attention to, man.
Yeah.
You know, and those are people we take in from.
I think the funniest part about it is just like people will literally, like, people will say that they see you, and it's just like, but you don't double tap, like, you don't click on the anyway. But it's just like, it's one of those things.
But listen, no, go ahead.
I don't even know. I was gonna. It's just like you were saying. Like everybody wants to sit at the table, but nobody wants to be in the kitchen, and
nobody want to bring no bread.
Nobody wants to invest. And the funny part about it is that as you get older and you start to grow and your responsibilities and you start to grow in your craft, it's like literally you stay true, and then you look at all the people around you that were kind of like doubting you or whatever the case may be, and it's like. It's almost as if you get older and everybody falls off, and or you get older and everybody just kind of disappears, and it's just like, whoa, well, all I had to do was just stay
to people. Yes, that's exactly right. And I'll say this to people who are building something with their brand, people who are building who they are. If you stay true to your mission, stay true to the goodness of what you had intended your gift and talent to be. That is going to be your reality as well. You're going to see people who are going to not really keep up with you. And then on top of that, you're going to see, even moving forward with the conversation, you're going to see people who you might feel are just as accomplished as you, or even more accomplished, but are still going to give you flack, right? And that's the thing. That's the part of life. But the real question, the real feeling I wanted to get out, am I still frozen?
No, you good.
The real feeling I wanted to get out was, listen, like, I'm just tired of the extra voices. I don't need any more opinions. I don't need any more of that extra stuff. We're going to talk about the real talk. And if you honestly trust me, my intention is going to be pure. Listen, this is my song. Don't start acting different when the money get long. All right? Because that's the fact. That's the truth of it.
And what's number one? Because this joint is like 23 minutes long.
Good Lord Almighty. Well, yeah, we have content you can just chip and slice.
Yeah, all
my number one song is Authentic. Funny. It's my number one song right now because I'll say right now. Before it was other songs. I probably every other song is my number one song at one time. But right now, Authentic is my number one song because that's what I love. I love authenticity. I love when people can say, like, yo, I did this because of this. I love people who love what they love. I love people who do what they're doing because they love it. Now, even further, the topic and theme of the song is whatever you're going to do, just get lost in it, right? Get lost in it. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt your gifts. Don't doubt where you at. Don't doubt what you have. Don't doubt your resources, right? I went and chose my vibe. That's the next step. I chose what I want to present as. I chose who I am. I accepted who I am. I embraced who I am. I went and chose my vibe and got lost in it, right? And if you got a problem, don't get lost in those trials and barriers. Don't get lost in those problems.
Yeah.
Don't get lost in it. You got to be authentic. And then that rounds it up. You go through things, you believe in yourself, you accept your gifts and talents, and you wrap it up with authenticity. You put your heart on your sleeve. You be truthful to people. You be loving to people. And you do what you do to the best. And that's why authentic is so much my number one, because it has a big meaning, but a simple package. You vibe out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You vibing out whatever you're going to do, just get lost in it. And then I break down the sections of that song Authentic. But Aaron, if you want to talk about the real root of that joint took us, we did the song 6 hours before I flew out to Scotland. We drove there. I wrote the rap on the way to Aaron's house.
Yeah, that was like one of the two final things that we did. It was the intro and and that was like within the same day. I don't know. I still don't know how we did it, but we happened. Like that joint was crazy. Like,
like one of my DJ friends posted on his IG story. He was like, "Yo, my little brother makes beats. Hit him up." I said, "You know what? Let me hit him up."
Yeah.
I hit the boy up. He sent me this heat. I'm like, "Yo, Aaron, we gotta do an outro." And then I write to that joint on the way to his crib. I'm talking about I had 3 days to do it. I write it on the way to the crib. We get to Aaron's crib and do the song. And I'll just say this one thing. Aaron spoke about authentic, but Danny Berto is super lucky to meet Aaron. A 17-year-old talented kid, lucky to meet Aaron, because any other producer would be like, "Yo, bro, I'll help you out this for this fee. Give me some of your rights. I'll help you out." Nah, Aaron was like, "Yo, bro, I don't even think Danny understands." Like,
yeah, he will.
How great he was to meet Aaron.
I'll say that he definitely, like, you know, he's definitely super grateful. He's always hitting me up. But I mean, I always wanted to empower people in the way that I wanted to be empowered. Like when I was coming up, like I would ask questions about the business, and either A, the person didn't know what they were talking about and they acted like they knew, or B, they gave me the runaround. So like they didn't want me to know the information because they thought I was going to use that to kick them out of position. And it was like, nah, I just want to know how to be successful in this business.
Right.
You know?
Like
and
I just
we had all of these cases of like people getting taken advantage of, and it's like I didn't want to get taken advantage of. So as I'm learning the business, I'm like, all right, let me teach the next person coming behind me. And that's what I did with Danny. Like he came to me, he was young, and I was like, yo, let me help you get set up. You know what I mean? I helped him get set up with his publishing and his royalties, and we gave him the percentage that he was supposed to get. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even take a percentage off that song.
Yeah, I don't think you did, bro. Like that's different, bro. That's mega different, bro. Yeah. And like that's why you're so blessed. And the thing about it is like it's such a special project. It's a project where people are able to see the truths. I'll say this: Game Face was an album to make people feel like the songs are relating to them. But now for Beyondr, this album is basically a biography, but it also is something that people can relate to. So it's not as selfish as it sounds.
Yeah.
And that's how I went about the album.
Yeah, man. And we got to shout out the all the people that collaborated with us once again: Phil Major, Danny Berto, all the musicians, Malik, Michael Green, my pops, Lace, like just some heavy hitters on the album, man. We got some great work. Oh, it's Stokes, man. Definitely can't forget Stokes, man. And what you call it? And your cousin.
Bro, yes. Twin.
My cousin twin, bro. Like, yo, man, he did the beat for the intro. If y'all didn't know that,
exactly.
The background. We just wanted that. Me and Paul's relationship thrives off of collaboration.
Right.
And anybody else you bring into the fold, like we want you to build that same spirit. Like there's no room for egos. And we had a couple of that run-in with ego, even with doing this project. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even tell the story about 1224. I'm not even gonna go into that. But you know what I'm saying? When ego gets in the way, it's like it's hard to accomplish things. But when you come together and collaborate, like you can do far more than just trying to do everything on your own. You can't do everything by yourself. So yeah, man. I love it.
Yeah. So that's my top 5 songs of the album. So Jordan, what are your thoughts, questions, concerns, anything that kind of makes you feel like, why did he do that? Anything? What was the process? Any thoughts?
Yeah, we definitely want to hear from somebody else that wasn't, you were connected like as far as videos and stuff like that, but you weren't creating the music with us. So what are your takes on it as a listener, like, or somebody that just enjoys music?
As a listener, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a little biased because I'm more of like the R&B head. So you
got some R&B hits on there though. Got some
yeah. Like I feel like I really love the A Game. I think that it's funny because I remember one of the things that we talked about after Game Time was like, oh, it's crazy how many people didn't know that Paul sang, and he put like some R&B stuff on this one. I really, if I had like my pick of the litter, I would want to see Paul do like an acoustic project. Or like he would do like a stripped down version of the songs that he sings, because it's one thing when you sing in the studio, but like vocally, like to have a vocal performance, like just like unplugged, just like stripped down. I feel like it builds intimacy, and I would love to see that.
I love acoustic stuff, by the way.
Yeah. His first song was acoustic.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Y'all should look up the video to that.
I actually just did a reference of a song that's acoustic. I'm thinking about I'm gonna send it to you and just we can build on that, man. It's really gonna go.
But
I like that.
As a listener, I really enjoyed the project. I think that it was definitely a step in the right direction. Like the thing that I look for when I listen to project, especially when it's a matter of like from the debut project to the second project, is just like the growth.
Yeah.
And some people go from their first to the second, and they kind of they have a hard time evolving while keeping their core. And I think that that's one of the things that Beyondr is really good at is keeping the core, keeping the elements that make you you. Keeping the elements that make you you while also evolving in sound and evolving in ideas and evolving in elements.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that Paul is really good at is going into a studio knowing what he wants to do and knowing what he wants to accomplish. So I love Beyondr. I think that it was a great second project. It was definitely a step above Game Face.
Yeah.
However, this opinion is more so for Project 3. I would love to see you like go into a studio with like no expectations, no concept in mind, and just have the music have a life of its own.
Interesting.
And when I say, I feel like one of the things that Paul and Aaron are masterminds. Like, and I say this in like the truest sense, they're two of the smartest and musically gifted people that I know. Paul's one of the biggest marketing people that I know, and and I feel like his marketing influences his music. I feel like for the next project it should be the other way around, because I feel like if you go in and it's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna create and I'm gonna let this music have its own life.
Ooh, I get you.
I feel like that will be so powerful, because it's like when
we've never done that before.
Yeah, no.
When people go in, I feel like it's funny because like when you hear like I watch a lot of music interviews, and when like I hear about people making their hit, making their trademark song, making their thing that makes them and solidifies them in music, it's like, oh, you know, I was just on the couch and I just played a couple chords, and like it just like I was watching like Miguel did an acoustic performance of Adorn, which is like his stamp, and he was just like, yeah, when I made this, I was just playing some chords, and it just came, it just flowed, it just worked. And I definitely feel like the next step in this is, instead of you giving life to the music, you letting your music give life to everything else.
Yeah, I'm all on board for that, man.
Yeah,
I'm all on board for that, man.
Yeah, always looking to switch up and just evolve, man. Honestly, in the creative process.
Right. Like I feel like that's gonna generate like something like, because like when you take the music and you just put it like, you just like let it have its own life, it's just like, oh snap, this is.
Yeah, I love that because me and Aaron are so intentional.
Yeah.
Like even with last minute stuff, we're still intentional. Like, so it's like we are so intentional, and I would love to see that. In simple words, I'm not even gonna talk long. I would love to see the music lead the next creative direction. Yeah. Because I'm at a point where my faith is at an all-time high. It's at an all-time high. I'm scared to say that because Tess love to come after I do that kind of stuff. But guess what? It's at an all-time high. And I feel like I trust my gift. We trust our gifts like never before. We have stats to back it up. We have report to back it up. We have people to say it. I feel like we're at a place where we can literally just go in and just start something. Yeah. I want to at least go in with something with a feel. Like, oh, I feel for this, but I want something to inspire me. Like just going in there fresh minded. Let's just do something. Yeah. Because we usually just write songs first. I write the song first. Yeah. And we produce.
And we kind of realize it in real time.
Right. Yeah. And then for this album, we kind of heard beats first and then produce a lot more than gameplay. But I love that idea, bro. Yeah. I think I want to do that for the next.
I was going to say, so do y'all have any like final thoughts, final things to say?
Yo, honestly, take everything that we said in mind and go listen to these songs, man. Like it's gonna give you a whole new perspective, especially knowing the background behind it. Like I already enjoy this. This is crazy because we work hard on our music, and one thing about creatives, like sometimes we don't like to go back to listen to our work because we're thinking, oh, dang, I should have did that, or I should have did this, or oh man, I remember how hard it was to get this done.
Right.
But this, I genuinely enjoy playing this record.
Right.
Like for real. Like I'll throw on Beyondr at a random time and just, you know what I'm saying? Just listen to it. Like just actively listening. Like, and that's really dope. Like as an artist and as a creative dude, when you can look back on your work and genuinely enjoy it, like if you didn't even create it, is a beautiful thing. So definitely go back and listen to these songs, man.
Paul, what about you, man?
Yeah, same, man. Look, just go, press play, vibe out, man. Forget that you've known Paul as an actor. Forget that you've known Paul as a host. Forget that you've heard me sing on a church choir before. Forget that. Just understand that I'm a different person now. Try to see me for who I've shown you recently, and understand that it's a different ball game now, man. Press play, enjoy. You'll get rap. You'll get singing. You'll get easy listening. And we even have playlists for that. We got the Vibe Dealer playlist, and then we got the TTFR Real Feel playlist, which will give you two different feels, energy and music. And then you get the easy listening and just real lyrics and real feel.
Now we got the top 5.
Exactly.
Now we got the top 5. I was going to say, I love doing this with y'all. I have to say, and this is just like a sidebar, I love how playlists are driving music discovery now. So
man.
I really love how playlists are just like pushing like the next generation. Because a lot of the people that I found over like the past 5-6 years have been like playlists off of SoundCloud. Like I found Jesus, Kiana Lede, Lucky Day off of playlist. I found Ella off of playlist. I found just a bunch of great artists. So support your local playlist. But that about does it for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys follow these amazing artists. Paul G at Paul G TV, Aaron at AA Hit Music. So once again, this is Jay the Creator. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hopefully we can do this again.
All right. Later, y'all.